Hello and welcome to the No Huddle Football Podcast. I am your host, Chris, and with me, as always, Ryan.
How do you? Was it
How's it
Christy or
going?
Chrismy or what was that?
Oh man, it reminds me of the good old Crook Parkett days.
Yeah, for
A
sure.
little stumble there
Yeah, a
out the
little
gate.
bit, a little bit. Doing good though. Doing
You're going to, yep,
good.
we're going to open today's show talking about the hometown Buccaneers.
Yep, yep, yep.
Unfortunately, like my fantasy football team, they are losers in 3 of the last 4 contests.
Yeah.
I feel like we're linked. It's like ET. We're linked together.
Yep,
We
yep.
win together and we lose together.
Yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings on it. I like to see them win, but watching you lose in fantasy is always a super good treat to me. So I guess I'll take it.
So I mean, I don't think anyone had super high expectations for this Bucks team this year, but they came out 2-0, got the win over the Vikings, which a lot of people weren't expecting. Looked really bad against the Eagles.
Well, yeah, it was.
Bounced back against the Saints 2 weeks ago. Looked really bad against the Lions. And then again, the offense just struggling last week, this past Sunday against the Falcons. I don't know if it's just these are maybe just the growing pains. You have a new offensive coordinator who this is his first gig as an offensive coordinator. We have a new quarterback here. Um, the run game is still a problem. There's a lot of issues on the offense. The defense looks pretty good because I mean, they're only giving up, I mean, through these games they've given up 17, 17, 25, 9, 20, and 16. That's not that bad on the defense. So
No,
it's definitely offensive problems.
yeah, and if the offensive problems like cease or just or at least get drawn back, like the defense won't be on the field that much, so those numbers won't really be as high, because they're having less chances to, or like they're obligated to be on the field less, if they're not sitting there coming after like turnover after turnover after turnover, like dude, we just got off the field, holy shit. But I agree with you. I do think it's growing pains. Like Baker's probably being an absolute Chad right now, like trying to do as much as he can. With and it's a new offensive coordinator. I think Todd Bowles, like I like the dude. Don't get me wrong, but maybe he's a defensive coordinator. Like it's
Yeah.
not like I just don't know if he makes the right decisions when it comes down to it. Like how much like pull does your brand new offensive coordinator have of like these are the offensive like decisions you are making? Like some of it just seems like so questionable. Like dude, like you have these two amazing receivers and you have a third that you just drafted. Like sling it, dude. You have a quarterback that like wants to throw. Just launch it, dude. We don't care right now. Just launch that ball. Who cares? But yeah,
Yeah, I've noticed though that run game, I don't know why this team has not been able to figure out how to run the ball. We got another new coordinator. It's a lot of the same. Run it straight up the middle kind of stuff. Let's move some people around a little bit. Let's run a jet sweep. Let's run something. Like let's do something a
uh,
little different every now and then to not like when we are in these obvious run plays, everyone just says, "Hey, stuff the middle and we're fine." That's all they're going to do. They're not going to bounce off tackle. We're going to stuff it right down the middle and hope for the best.
I like to imagine like whenever like a new offensive coordinator gets to the Bucks and they're doing like their stuff at practice, like showing like what kind of plays they've drawn up. It's like these crazy trick plays, yada yada yada. And the GM comes fucking rumbling down. He's like, what does it say right here? Like pointing at his shirt, like the Buccaneers. Yeah, we run up the middle. God damn it! Like that is the end of it. All right, bro.
Yeah. Okay, up the middle it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But with Baker slinging it, I saw a lot of this last game though. He doesn't quite have his timing down yet with his receivers.
Yeah,
'Cause
fair.
there's a lot of overthrows right now. He's still trying to figure out the timing, which I get that. It's only been a few weeks. I was hoping it was going to look better coming out of the bye week, but it really hasn't. 16 points combined in the last 2 games. what is that, like 1 touchdown in 2 games?
Yeah, I don't know. I just like I said, I think he's just trying to be a Chad. I think he's just trying to do too much. Like that's like what got him into trouble a little bit in Cleveland when they did let him like have more opportunities. Like he's like, all right, now I got to do all this stuff. It's like, "Damn, I don't need you to do all that stuff, dude. We just need to do the fucking plays that we just said, and just dump it off if you can't. Like do something else." But again, it was like low expectations coming in. Like this is kind of what was expected. I mean, this is what I would say. Like the record is better than what was expected this early on, right? So it's like, so I wouldn't say it's
Yeah,
panic. I
little,
just think
little.
I just think it's like it's kind of just a little suspect on what's happening. Like, all right, like we know you can do good. Just like the whole stuff like early in the season, you know, when you're rolling, let's do that again. Let's do that.
Yeah. Like, I think they have the potential, or at least coming into the year, maybe still, they have the potential to be like an 11-win team
Yeah, for sure.
at their peak.
Yeah.
But I could also see them finishing with 7 or 8 wins as well, and just missing
Yeah.
the playoffs.
Also that, yeah.
So there's a wide range of where they could kind of finish there, and I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't get any easier in 2 nights from tonight, Thursday night football. They gotta go to Buffalo.
Yeah. Good
Now,
luck,
granted,
bro.
Buffalo's been kind of struggling, but maybe this is a get right game for Buffalo. Tampa's coming to town, who's been struggling. I'm worried that we're gonna just get embarrassed
It's
on
at
national television.
it's at Buffalo, and it's
Yeah.
October. It's winter basically, as what Floridians would consider it. It's winter everywhere else in the country. Like they're gonna get stomped, dude. I believe they're probably gonna get stomped. Like I hate to say it, but it's gonna be cold.
Probably. Yeah, I see that Buffalo is 8.5-point favorites right now, so a full touchdown favorites.
I mean, sounds about right.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. I'm just going to enjoy watching football on Thursday, and then I can get past. Hey, listen, I'll know the outcome for my fantasy team by Thursday night. If the Bucks get stomped, I already know I'm in for another stomping. Speaking of, did you see all the stuff going on with Bijan Robinson right now?
I don't think I did. No, I.
So a big reason why I lost is because Bijan Robinson didn't play the entire first quarter, I don't think. He didn't touch the ball until there was 24 seconds left in the game. Because, I don't know, he had a tummy ache or something. It was weird. Because they were asked about it after the game, and he had some post-game interview, and he's like, yeah, Saturday night, I just wasn't feeling so good. And so we didn't really want to risk it. And so, yeah, but he had like this weird grin on his face. I'm like, why is he smiling about this? Like, he's just like, yeah, I wasn't feeling so good last night. And coach decided not to play me. And I'm like, what? So the Atlanta Falcons, he was not on an injury report. So I had no reason to think to pull him out of my lineup.
Sure.
I mean, why would you pull Bijan Robinson out, right? And you have to disclose any injuries up front in the NFL. It's a requirement.
Yeah.
They did not disclose that anything was wrong with him, and they didn't use him as much as they normally would.
Sure.
And so now the Falcons are under investigation by the NFL.
Nice. That's what you
Figure
get.
out
That's what happens.
What is going on?
You play stupid
Yes.
games, you win stupid prizes. Very nice.
Yeah. Like, why would you not win? I am actually putting our fantasy game under investigation because I think there was some foul play there. We may have to award some points.
Take that L, bro. Just take that.
We may have to take his average and add it to the score.
Nah. If that was the case, I would probably be likely undefeated right now.
Yeah. It killed me. I saw that happening and I was just like, what the heck is, and I jumped on Twitter and like everyone was like freaking out, like trying to figure out what happened. And it was a close game. And I think if he was playing, I probably could have pulled off a win this week, but that's the way that fantasy football goes, right?
Yeah, but you didn't though. So
it's a game of a little bit of skill and a lot of luck.
Mostly luck. Yeah, I'd say skill is probably like 10% of it.
Yes, that's what I was
Just be
thinking
competent
this week.
enough to
Skill
put together a team.
Yes, that's it. Let's talk about the other team in Florida to the south of us, the Miami Dolphins. This team has become very hard to predict, or are they that hard to predict? They go 1 week dropping 70 points, setting records, and dropping 42 points another week. And then like they have 2 losses this year, but they're like bad. They looked really bad. Just like the Bucks, like they just looked really bad for those games. They weren't even really competitive. Their loss to the Bills and their loss to the Eagles. Neither game did it ever feel like they had a chance to win those games.
Maybe they were doing like load management, like active load management. Like they're out on the field, right? But they're not really trying. Just there.
I don't know. It just makes me wonder. And this is what I put in for our list tonight. Are they legitimate contenders or are they pretenders? Because they are beating up on the teams that are at the bottom of the league: the Chargers, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Giants, the Panthers. Those are all, that is like a resume of the worst teams this year right there that I just read off. Those are the teams they're beating up on. And then then they have to play someone that's a bit challenging, the Bills and the Eagles, and they look awful.
I mean, yes. We'll see. So they played the Patriots. Okay, well, here's my theory.
Patriots, so they should.
Well, they beat
kill
them.
the Patriots.
Yeah, they beat them 24-17 last time. Here's my theory here. So I guess like the last game of the season would be like the true, like, I guess coup de grace to the end of this. But Bills, a loss of the Bills, that's probably a playoff contender within their division, right? So
Yep.
Why not sandbag the first one? Like, let's see what they're up to. Let's just try some stuff, see where it goes, because we know we're going to play them. We can kind of assume based off our schedule. Like, granted, yes, any given Sunday rolls in, but they are a loaded team, so they can probably guess the games that are going to be the most important. So it's like I'd say Bills, and then Eagles. That's a likely Super Bowl contender if they do make it that far. So again, same concept. Let's plug it. Let's plug away. Like, what does this game mean at the end of things? Likely nothing. But if they do play in the Super Bowl, they may have an advantage based off of like they might have tried some stuff, might have just played around. Who knows? I mean, Mike McGinnis, like most of his offense, even amid, is like going through Madden, right?
Yeah.
So who knows?
Just
Dude's
making
weird.
shit up.
Yeah, the dude's weird. Who knows?
He's a strange guy, but you'd want to see him start beating some of these people. They got a very important game in 2 weeks, which I am super excited for, and I'm excited that it's on at 9:30 in the morning here.
Yes,
because
the
I
Germany
can watch
game.
that game. Yes, I can watch that game and nothing else. That is a really good game.
Yeah.
Dolphins and Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like, the NFL spoiled Germany this year. We've been sending all of our crappiest games to London for like a decade now. And Germany last year got the Bucks, and this year is getting the Chiefs and Dolphins.
Yeah.
So,
and yeah, it's awesome.
The Dolphins, that's going to be a real test there. Like, I would think you definitely that may be a game for who gets the number 1 seed in the AFC right there. You don't want to go to Kansas City.
Yeah, so this would likely be one that you would see the effort out of. So it would be a good like base, I guess you could say, of like if this team is legitimate. The Kansas City game would be a good one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you have that one, then you have some down games again.
Yeah, nothing
for the next few weeks, and then they close out the year with 3 tougher games: Cowboys, Ravens, and then the Bills again. But so I think that Chiefs game will be a very good measuring stick of if they get beat again, like if they just get absolutely pummeled by the Chiefs, I'm going to be selling, I think, a little bit on the Dolphins.
Probably, yeah.
They can lose, but they got to keep it competitive. It can't be like these other two, because then it's just going to look like you can't beat any of the playoff teams. Like, you are going to be the Cowboys this year. You're going to make it to the strong year, make it to the playoffs, knocked out in the first round.
Yeah, likely. I'd say even Ravens are like similar to the Dolphins in this, where it's like I never know what to expect from them week to week at this point.
Yeah.
They
are a little difficult to pinpoint. We'll use that right there to transition. Our next topic, we're looking at division leaders. Are there any that stand out to you? We've got Miami, who we were just talking about, Baltimore, who we were just talking about. Yeah, it's weird to see them at 5-2. You got Jacksonville and you got Kansas City on the AFC side. We'll start there. Does any of those divisions look weird? Division leaders?
I mean, it's always weird to see AFC East not have the Patriots at the top. I guess like that's kind of a fact we're gonna have to settle into after like 2 decades of seeing it.
Yep.
I mean, the Jets not being at the bottom is pretty interesting to see. Like you think like the three wins is pretty impressive for them right now. Um, the Dolphins and Bills. I mean, that's what you expect. AFC North is a little bit weird because like it's just a division like I really don't know what to expect. Like the Browns are doing far better than I thought. They would do this early on and winning weird games and losing even weirder games. Um, Pittsburgh, a team that like is, I mean, again, they were terrible last year, and like Kenny Pickett, man, really. Uh,
they're still like they still look terrible this year.
Yeah, and they're 4-2.
They don't look like a 4-2 team.
No,
the Ravens don't. They show flashes of being a 5-2 team, but they seem kind of inconsistent at times, at least from when I've watched them. That whole AFC North, though, is just weird to me. I don't know how to pick their games at all. I expected the Bengals to be on top. They're on the bottom. I expected Pittsburgh and Cleveland to maybe only have be about 2-4 at this point in the year. They're both 4-2. That whole division confuses me. The South is about what I expected.
Yeah.
That's right where I expected everybody to be. No surprises there. And then I think the AFC West, Chiefs on top by a margin is expected.
No.
I'm both surprised and not surprised by the Chargers.
Yeah.
Surprised because they have all that talent, but not surprised because that's what they do. They can't convert that talent into wins.
I think one of their losses was a coaching error, right? I want to say yes.
They're always having because of coaching errors. So it's hard to keep up anymore. They're always mess up. And then Denver, I expected them to improve this year with a seasoned head coach, and they somehow have managed to look worse. We'll get to more on that in a bit. Over on the NFC side, you got the Eagles on top by a couple of games. Detroit on top, which when was the last time that happened? I don't even remember. The Falcons on top, and then you have San Francisco leading their division.
Yeah, with two weird losses, like
yes,
out of character losses. I mean, I would say Falcons on top, especially after like last year. I think they were bottom of the barrel around this time, like kind of sharing what the old Panthers are going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Detroit on top is super weird. I think last time was maybe when the Bucs shared a division and Barry Sanders was running all over them. I think
it was a little before that, yeah, because the Bucs won the division more recently than the Lions.
Fair. That's sad.
That just tells you how long it's been. They were about to break, a streak that has been going on for a long time. Because remember that it was 2002 when they did the realignment. They have not won that division. I think they've got to be one of the only non-division winners, I would think.
Let's see here. Yes. I mean, I don't think the Browns have won since coming back in '99. Have they?
Yeah. Probably not. I don't think they have. It's always been Bengals, Ravens, Steelers. I can't think of it. They've always been the Browns were champs either.
I'll have to look, but they're usually, if they get in the playoffs, it's like by the skin of their teeth. It's never like outright.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a wild card team, if anything. They're like barely made the 6th seed on the final play.
Yeah, voted in by the fans.
I'm looking at these divisions right now. I think the NFC East is about what we expected.
Yeah.
No surprises there, really.
Mm-hmm.
The North is about what I expected. I think I talked about this on one of our first shows that we were going to see the decline of Minnesota this year. And they started off like, 11-0 last year or something, and now they're 3-4.
Yeah, and all those games are one-score games, too, that like they could have easily had the same record they have now, and like doesn't really mean you're great.
That's what I was saying. They lost one too many defensive people, and so they were barely winning. The offense was just barely able to keep them in it, and now the offense is about the same, but the defense just can't keep up.
Yeah.
Falcons, if you remember, I was talking about the Falcons too, that I thought they had a lot of really good pieces in play. Just no one's taking them seriously because they don't have a good quarterback, and that's obviously the most important position in football. But they've got the good running backs. They have a good receiver. They have the good tight end that some people are calling a bust, but I think it's just they don't know how to get their passing game going. I don't think that's his fault. If he's standing there wide open and they don't throw him the ball, that doesn't mean he's a bust in my book.
Yeah.
You know,
Agreed.
if he's not getting open or if he's dropping passes or fumbling the ball, then call him a bust. But if he's standing there waving him down and no one's throwing him the ball, I don't know. I'm not ready to call Kyle Pitts a bust just yet.
Yeah, me either.
They got a lot better on defense with all the people they picked up: the Calais Campbell, Jesse Bates, all these guys. They already had who was it, AJ Terrell. So they've always had they've had a few good people. They picked up a lot of good people on defense, and that's why I really struggled to pick this division, because I'm like, really, it was always New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Any one of them can take the division. I think someone's going to limp to the finish line. Right now, it looks like Atlanta's the best looking one. New Orleans is playing a little worse than I thought. But
yeah, big time.
That offense is hard to watch. They're really bad as well.
Yeah, it's weird to see. It's weird, like without Drew Brees just being so efficient. It's weird. It's still weird.
And then over in the NFC West, Cardinals are right where we expected them to be. I think that whole division, there's no real surprises there. The only surprise being what you mentioned is that the 49ers have lost 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
That we expected them to win both of them.
Mm-hmm. I think it's funny that the Cowboys' one of their 2 losses is Arizona's only win. If this was college football, that would suck for the Cowboys.
Yeah. Arizona 1-6 if the Cowboys win. Because I think so Arizona with their 1 win, and the only team worse than them is Carolina with their 0 wins.
Keep pounding, bro. Fucking pounding.
They have to play each other? No. They don't have to play each other this year. That won't be the toilet bowl.
Yeah, that's been sad to watch.
Yes. Although we do get the Texans and Panthers, so we get to go see those early draft picks face off against each other this week.
There you go.
There you go. So a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the coach's hot seat. Let's talk a little bit about quarterback hot seat. Who do you think are some people that are most likely to lose their starting quarterback job next year? We're not going to count Zach Wilson in this because he was never supposed to be the starter. That's an obvious. Yeah, that was too easy. So the people that kind of came into this year being the starter that you don't think will be there next year, or think shouldn't be there next year.
Sure.
Maybe they still hang on to him.
I'm just gonna go down the line of like conference division. Should be pretty easy. Mac Jones, easy.
I've heard a lot of rumblings about people thinking it's his time to go, because he hasn't flashed any greatness. His biggest thing that he's had on his resume is that he played for Alabama.
Yeah, and like, who cares?
Yep.
From my understanding, I don't know if this is like still like a current thing, but from my understanding, he was like wanting to do his own thing, like going against like Belichick and like the Patriot way, which is obviously it's not going to work in your favor. You're just some fucking you're just some fucking quarterback. Who cares? So I think like Bailey Zappi, that's why he was succeeding, because he's like, yeah, dude, I'm fucking down. Let's do this shit. Like exactly what Bill Belichick wants you to do. But like you can see it written over Mac Jones. Like he ain't it. He ain't it. So yeah, easy one right there.
Yeah.
I don't really say they have seen. I mean, Kenny Pickett maybe. They'll probably still they'll still let him ride it out.
Let's
probably
get rid of him.
Yeah,
I'm always in favor of getting rid of him. I think they'll get rid of the coordinator first. What's his name? Matt Canada.
Oh yeah.
I think they would get rid of him first, and then give Pickett a little bit more of a chance before they were to get rid of him. Because I think a lot of people blame Matt Canada for what's going on there.
Certainly, yeah. They'll probably some high-powered dude from college. They'll probably bring in someone more in line with his play style, which then will fucking just be basically just restarting again. But whatever. Yep. I would say let's go down in the AFC South. Tannehill, see you, bud, out of here.
Yes, he needs to go. That team's on the decline now. I know I think they just got a win recently, right? No, they've lost 2 in a row. No, they just need to. It's time to move on. Like. You saw he got you close. What did they get to, an AFC championship game or very close to it a few years ago?
That was it. That was your
but they were
window.
never going to go. Yep, that was your Super Bowl right there. You know, it's down now. I see Henry. There's rumblings of him being traded soon because the trade deadline is next week, next Tuesday.
I mean, I'd be interested to see where he goes and what people would like be offering for him because, like, yeah, he's you know, it's King Henry and all that fun stuff, but again, he's a big ass running back who's been running very hard for like a good 6 years now. So it's like,
Yeah.
how much more do you got, bud?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see someone. I mean, you look at McCaffrey. I think he went for like what, a second, third, and a fourth. Should be maybe
yeah.
a little bit less than that for Henry, just because he's got all those extra miles on him.
Mm. And and when it came to fantasy, I called it. I said I will not draft Derrick Henry this next year, as in this year. Whenever I drafted him the past year, it's like this will be the last time he's ever on my team. I promise you.
Yeah,
I think he has
he's too much on the decline.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, they might as well see what they have at quarterback with Malik Willis and Will Levis. See what you've got there.
Nah, dude, start again. those dudes ain't it either.
But I mean, at least I don't know. Maybe even this year, just see what you got.
Yeah. Let him fuck around. I don't think Malik Willis, like, I don't think his game transfers. I think he's a great athlete. Don't get me wrong. He looked awesome in college, but it's like he came from Liberty, I believe. So it's like, again, I know, like, I don't want to like hate on like Division 2 or Division 3 or whatever. Like, you know, you can find athletes anywhere. But like I try to think of like the constant game they faced, and then bumping it up, you know, 4 levels or however you want to rate that to like NFL professionals. Like, you know, did they really have the opportunity to learn that difficult, you know, of a game? Whereas like these other quarterbacks that are from like Division 1 or Division 2 that are playing like these more high powered games, like get the experience and have like the calm nerves. Like Malik Willis, like when he's out there, he doesn't look good, man.
Yeah, and I think I saw him play a little bit last year when Tannehill was out, and I wasn't super impressed either. Like it just didn't look like the right fit. I don't know if it's just not for them or just in the NFL. If he's another one of these great college quarterbacks that just doesn't transition well, but that's what I'm saying. See what you have with Will Levis. You don't know until you know. Look at the 49ers last year. They had Brock Purdy at the bottom of the depth chart. That's not the way you want to have to find out, but it just goes to show. It just goes to show you don't know what you have until they're plugged in. If you're not going to win anyways, go see what you've got. Now look at San Francisco. They're set for how many years potentially with a quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably time there.
So I'll move on to the West. I mean, Garoppolo probably like.
He's got to go. He's too injury prone. He's out again.
Yeah, right? just be handsome somewhere, dude. Just be an announcer. Be a fucking TV guy. Just be handsome. That's there.
What he should do.
Yeah, just be handsome there, dude. That's fine. it's
again his
less helmet time. People love it.
Yes, I feel like his claim to fame, his career highlight was being Tom Brady's backup.
Being a serviceable backup while the great one was out, you know? He was undefeated for a time.
I feel like if he was a backup for anyone else during that time,
never saw him.
He wouldn't even be a starting quarterback right now. I think it just, there was all this allure of, Bill Belichick saw something in him, so
you went to the same college as Tony Romo. Like, who fucking cares, bro?
Yeah. Like, he's okay, but
yeah, I mean, he's professional.
I'm surprised that he was still a starting quarterback in 2023. Let me put it that way. I didn't think he was going to be a starting quarterback at this point.
Yeah, I thought he was about.
Or do I understand? I was a little worried when the rumors were out there that the Bucs were going to potentially trade for him. I'm like, please don't.
No, oh God, he'd have been so distracted here. I would also say within that same division, if it was possible to uproot yourself from Mr. Unlimited, by all means, uproot yourself. Like,
is there any way they can get out of that at this point? Or are they too far in? That contract was too big.
They're probably locked in for another couple of years at least. I think it's absurd.
Sell everyone. Get rid of everyone that you have of any value. If anyone even has any value on that team, just get whatever picks you can and then use those picks. Get like trade away your whole
I
team.
wonder if they could just
start signing people off practice squads, and then get as many draft picks as you can to trade up for other draft picks and start rebuilding because they're going to be at the bottom for a while.
or like make his life miserable by doing that, like have just like nobody's out there, so he's like doesn't want to even be there. Or I don't know what the terms are, but like can they just like not just buy out his contract? Like I'm sure the dude who owns the team, who also owns the Avalanche, who is just fucking kind of rolling in it. I would just be like, I'll double what your contract is. I'll buy it X2. Get the fuck out of my team. Get out of here, dude.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how it all works with the salary cap if they were to try to, like when they try and cut people and they're like, oh, you have this much in dead cap space, like that would be it. They would have no cap space, but maybe rip the Band-Aid off and do it sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, work with what you got. Just understand, hey, when we come in this year, we got 60 million just dead, dude.
Yeah, for 2 years, we've got 60 million in dead caps, but then we're free and clear rather than keeping this experiment going for 5 years.
Yeah,
because it's just not happening.
To the NFC. Well, go ahead.
I see one that sticks out. I was about to say you're about to do NFC East. I see one that sticks out big time. That
Dak. No, Dak. No, no. Yeah. Danny Dimes. Nah,
yes,
bud. You ain't it. You ain't it.
It didn't make sense at the time of the draft. I remember watching that draft, and they announced his name, and the whole crowd just act like they got the worst news in the world.
But they did, though.
Like they were just like, what? Like we drafted him this early? Like I felt like everyone outside of the Giants organization knew at that time that was a bad pick. And then, what was it, last season? Off season, whenever, when he re-signed a contract with them, everyone knew it was a bad idea, except for the Giants. I don't know what they see, but he's just not it.
I think, like, I mean, I can't say this for sure. Obviously, I've never been in like a team level, but I think when I see like office people, when they like look at players, they only see him like at practice. It's like, wow, this guy's great. Like, yeah, he fucking knows the defense, my guy. They tell him, but he's just, I don't. I just remember the year before he got drafted is like his final year in college. I don't even know if he was a senior or junior, but if he was a junior and he left, you're dumb. But I remember he's like, this guy's got NFL potential. Show him, like, why? Because he's big. Like, doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna be good. Like, you got lucky with Josh Allen, but like, this dude's like not the greatest. And then a sniper takes him out. Like his first like big highlight moment, a sniper gets him, just tripping over your feet. Big old lanky deer, bro. Yeah, he's just I don't know. He might be a great coordinator one day. Just hang up the helmet, bro.
Time to retire. Wow. Not just lose your job, just quit your job outright.
Yeah. What it, like Oof. I mean, I don't know. I have a different mentality on it. I just like if does he not know he's trash? You know, like, do you not know? Did you not have the self-awareness? Be like, wow, my stats are bad. Why? Like, where were you for 60 minutes on that field?
But you know what? All he's worried about is counting those paychecks.
I know, and it's so absurd.
He is robbing that place blind.
Which I have mad respect for him for. Just be like, yeah, sure, I'll sign this. Yeah, fuck it, 70 million.
You want me again? Okay, all right, let's keep going.
Yeah, it was like 35 million a year. I guess, yeah, sure, fuck it.
You want me to be a top paid quarterback? Okay.
Half of it's guaranteed. Okay, yeah.
Whatever. You're gonna ruin your franchise, but whatever.
Yeah, fuck the Giants. I mean, go Giants. Yeah. AFC North. Kirk Cousins.
NFC?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, NFC North. Yeah, Kirk Cousins. Probably time to just move on from that guy as well. Not anything like against him. I just why not? He's an older dude. No matter what you do, you're gonna draft all these dudes. Like the quarterback they're gonna end up playing with ain't gonna be Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Just get what capital you can from him. He's serving. Like teams would need him. Like he's not a bad quarterback. He could still get you through the storm, but he's not gonna do anything flashy.
I feel like he could be equivalent to a Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
What he did for the Bucs.
Yeah, exactly.
He was good, but he was
enough.
Great.
Yeah, he was good
enough on the right team. If you put him on the right team, someone that's maybe a quarterback away, maybe that's the guy. Like a team that's otherwise fairly stacked.
Or just a veteran
Just
leader
needing a
that's like
quarterback.
capable, like just a direction like that. That's usually very helpful as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Chicago has the most elite quarterback of all time. So like, no,
I
he's
don't
like
see them moving on from him just yet.
no, but this would be a great
I don't see
opportunity
him being on the
for
hot seat.
them too. He's injured.
Yeah.
You're nearing that deadline.
Did, did you see that backup that came from Division 2,
Yeah.
picked up the win? He has the same number of wins as Justin Fields, who has played for the last now season. Justin Fields is like what 1-12 or 1-15, and that guy is 1-0. Just as many wins, and it only took one game to get there.
I'm a huge Chicago Bears fan when he's on the field.
Yes. Oh man, that's rough. I don't think Justin Fields is on the hot seat. I don't think so.
You know
Not
why?
yet.
You know
If
why
he looks
he's?
bad again next year, then probably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They hyped him up too much to cut him this quick.
Yeah, no, yeah. They're just going back through and scrubbing all those like really like positive fucking like tweets and shit. I'm like, we gotta get rid of this shit.
Yeah.
South. I mean, probably Ritter. Desmond Ritter will probably have to go. That's probably like their biggest piece that they need. And again,
I think once they realize that they're a quarterback away, what if we put Kirk Cousins on the Falcons right now?
maybe, yeah.
That'd be an interesting team right there.
And then put Desmond Ritter up there with like they're younger dudes, but again, it's a dome. But like, fucking, who cares? Yeah. But he might click. It might be the right system for him. You never know.
That would be an interesting thing to see Kirk Cousins on the Falcons.
Yeah, so I mean, he grittied at one point. So if we could see him do the Dirty Bird,
yes,
we love this.
We need to see that.
The
Side
whitest
note,
Dirty Bird.
They need to do they need to do their throwbacks with the black uniforms and the red helmets.
Oh, yeah.
And they need to hit a Dirty Bird celebration.
Yeah, those are red helmets though. Those are one of my faves. I mean, you can't really say anything about the Bucks right now because like they're kind of whatever. New Orleans, I guess, would be like the same. Like I don't really know what they're doing at this point. Like I couldn't even say what they're.
We need more time there, I think, with them.
Again, Panthers. Yeah, they just got their guy. He's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, he's not on the hot seat yet.
Yeah. NFC West, I think they're pretty good with old Brock Purdy there. I mean, you could say for the Cardinals, I mean they're probably gonna like get rid of Kyler. Like why not?
Yeah,
we talked about that.
I mean they've got
in the season, but
they've got a new coach there, James Murray from Impractical Jokers running things. So. Kyler Murray was not his guy. I could see if he doesn't want to put up with him, he may cut ties with him.
Yo, Murray, you should trade Kyler Murray. Oh, he did
it. Hey, Murray, take the Cardinals and tank the entire season. I could also see Matt Stafford. Maybe his time in LA is done. Like, do you see them at any point with Stafford at this point in his career?
He did
what they did.
He completed the mission he was sent to do. Like they traded for him for that thing. They're like, hey, dude, you got to do it now, and he did. And it looked like a very good team. And I think they should just let him like pick a team. Where do you want to go, bud? Like, what do you want to be traded to? Hey, yeah. I mean, he is he is a Georgia dude. They could trade him to the Falcons. He could probably maybe.
See if he can get that team going. That would be interesting too. Stafford on the Falcons. I like that. Kirk Cousins on the Falcons. Falcons just upset. They could be a good team. I know they're a division rival, but like they could be a good team with a good quarterback. I hate to see teams not live up to their potential.
Yeah, well, that happens.
We named off a good handful of teams that might be in the market for a new quarterback. Let's talk about who's probably going to fill one of those spots.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams. I saw this report, I think last week, coming out that part of what he wants is whoever drafts him, he wants a stake in that team. Do you think there's any chance that that happens? Is that the way that we're going? Because remember, a few years ago, we started to see people say, "Hey, I want to be paid in crypto," which was a horrible idea. So people were like looking for other investment opportunities. Do
I
you think this becomes a new norm? And if it does, is this a good or a bad thing for sports that players are now going to own part of the team they get drafted to? How does that work then too if he gets traded or something? But go ahead.
I
Tell
I
me
don't
what you're thinking.
I don't think it could work. Wouldn't you have like like let's say all right, let's say he gets drafted by the Bucks, right? And the Glazers somehow he pries their fucking hands off some of the ownership of this team. Um and he gets traded or resign or signed somewhere else. Does he beat them or does he lose to them?
Yeah.
What is better for business? And I think that's where the issue would lie, unless they would have to like any earnings during his career would have to be on the back end. Like he would they would put it aside or like in a trust or what have you, and then he can only access it upon his retirement. I would be fine with that. That'd be probably serviceable, but I just don't think. Granted, is he awesome? Yes, but he's an awesome college player. But like, what if he's trash and now he's like an owner of this team? Unless they make that contingent too, you know. But what power does he have? Like Tom Brady is an owner, but like he earned that. He has like a shitload of rings, like a couple records, I think. You know, so it's like he's allowed to own some teams. Peyton Manning, John Elway, dudes that like have like earned it, like just to be drafted, like I want a stake. Like, nah, dude. Sorry.
No, I don't see that as a good idea because then, like, our teams going to always have to start selling off stakes of ownership to everybody at this point? Or, like, how is that going to work? Which players get it and don't? And, like you said, I think the biggest conflict of interest, free agency these days, almost nobody stays with a team that drafted them. Very rare does anyone finish out their career somewhere. So how does that work at that point? Let's just say the NFL entertains this idea and they said, "Yeah, sure. You're you got drafted by the Cardinals, so now you own a stake in the Cardinals." And then 4 years in, things aren't working out because they're terrible and you decide you don't want to re-sign there, you're going to go somewhere else that's a contender just a quarterback away. What if that's someone else in the NFC? Oh, I'm going to go to the Saints now. And I'm going to be not in the same division, but I'm going to be in the same conference now, and I'm going to play my team that I own. Like, I see a lot of bad coming from that. I just don't see how it could be possible. Or is it like a deal where he owns it after he's retired? He gets a stake, but he doesn't get to have it until after he's retired. But still, I think someone having any committed stake in a team is not good because it could. What if it affects gameplay, like you said? I don't know. I think it's a terrible idea. I don't think anyone should agree to it. I think the NFL should jump ahead before he even gets drafted and just say that it can't be done. Sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever team drafts you is not going to be allowed to do it. We're not even going to let this happen.
Also, like, imagine like the leverage when it comes like contract renegotiations or whatever. That's like, we're gonna need you to take a pay cut. As the owner of this team, like, fuck
I just
you,
signed myself
dude.
to an extension.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what? Like, where does the line? Yeah, it's bad ideas all around.
It is, yeah, terrible idea. I hope it doesn't happen. I think it would be terrible for football. Looking ahead to this week, this weekend, you got to give me your two locks and an upset for this weekend schedule. Who you got?
Let me take a gander here. Do you already have yours picked?
I do. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead and go first. Let me just take a gander here.
Okay, so I am going to go for my two locks. I'm going to go once again with the Chiefs over the Broncos. That's got to be a lock right there. And then give me, who was the other one I had here? Give me the Dolphins over the Patriots. Those are two slam dunk locks right there.
All right.
Because the Dolphins always play. I'm expecting them to continue blowing out bad teams, and the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and they probably have some ownership over the Broncos. Speaking of ownership, And then for my upset, you ready for this one? You hated my upset last time, and I was wrong. But you're going to like my upset this time. I'm going with your Browns over the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I think that the Browns, their defenses just look so good.
Yeah, Miles Garrett's unbelievable.
Yes. He looks like he could be a potential for defensive player of the year. So I'm going to I was looking at who's all favored. Seattle's only favored by 3 right now. I could see the Browns going in there, wreaking havoc on that offense and slipping away with a win.
Okay.
Granted, I don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback right now, but I don't know. Does that matter? Because hasn't Watson been out the last 2 weeks, or like he was 2 weeks ago when he was out part of this game, and PJ Walker has come in and led them to victories in both of those games. So I don't know that Watson being out really matters. So
one against the 49ers as well.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. There's my 2 locks and an upset.
Okay. Pretty good. So I'm going to go with Eagles over the Commanders for one of my locks. I think that's pretty easy. I think Ron Rivera is going to get fired, and this is probably going to be the game that starts it all.
You remember who the Eagles their first loss was to last year, right? These Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
That was their first loss last year.
Send Ron Rivera. That's a little parting gift. Hey man, remember when you beat us?
Yeah. Here you go. Goodbye.
I'm gonna have to say Bills over the Bucks. That's probably gonna be
Bills over Bucks. You're locking that in, right?
Yeah. And as for an upset, let's pick an interesting one. I'm going to say the Panthers over the Texans. I think Bryce Young's going to get it together. Squeaker, too, right? It's just squeaker.
Yeah.
But it's a dub's a dub, right? I just don't see them continue to lose. I really don't. It's not that they're terrible. But 0-6, that number's going to change eventually. They're not the Browns.
Yeah,
or the
they're
Lions.
going to win one eventually. I mean, looking at some of the teams that they've lost to, division leader Falcons. That's, it is what it is. The Saints, but it was close. You have the Seahawks, who's a good team. Vikings, who are a little confusing. Lions, who are good. Dolphins, who are good. So they've played some decent teams so far. This might be the worst team that they've faced so far in the Texans. So maybe there you go. Maybe this is where they get that first win. So, all right, we'll take a look on that next week, see how we did. I think that just about does it for us for this week. So any parting thoughts for our dozens and dozens of viewers out there?
I don't know. Not really. I hope we have a good weekend of football, both professional and college. Can't wait.
Yep. Should be solid this week. Can't wait. All right. We will see you guys next week, and thanks for watching.